I always feel the pressure to find the perfect gift for my relatives. In this case, whether you're sending an unforgettable gift or treating yourself to everyday perfection, Omaha Steaks delivers the world's best steak experience. For me, I'm not just into steaks. I like all types of meat. That's why I'll usually get the Winter's Best Seller Pack. It comes with juicy fillets, chicken breast, pork chops, and even burgers. Omaha Steaks offers unrivaled quality and variety, and every bite is backed by their 100% guarantee. A family-owned company with over 100 years of experience in the meat industry. Save big on unforgettable gifts with Omaha Steaks. Visit omahasteaks.com for 50% off site-wide and earn an extra 20% off select favorites during their cyber sale. And for an extra $35 off, use promo code YUM at checkout. That's omahasteaks.com, promo code YUM at checkout. Terms apply. See site for details. Go to omahasteaks.com to get 50% off site-wide plus an extra 20% off select favorites and more limited-time deals during their cyber sale. And use promo code YUM at checkout for an extra $35 off. Minimum purchase may apply. See site for details. A big thanks to our advertiser, Omaha Steaks.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Kelly Clarkson with Wayfair. My favorite thing about the holidays? Decking out my whole house. It's not a competition, but if it was, well, I'd win the season with Wayfair. Outdoor inflatable Santa? Got it on Wayfair. Trees, lights, and ornaments? Wayfair. Hosting must-haves like dining sets, beds, sheets, and towels? Wayfair. For everything in your style delivered with fast and free shipping, visit wayfair.com or the Wayfair app to win the season. But again, it's not a competition.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
Hello, kitties. This is your Julie, the Crypt Keeper, and you're listening to Slasher Radio.
Welcome to Slasher Radio with your host, Micah Bones, Rob Humphrey, and Cass Lovecraft. I did that one extra special.
Thank you.
Rob, how you feel about that?
It's very annoying. I don't appreciate it.
Yeah, grateful son of a bitch. Happy birthday, Bobbert.
Yeah. Happy birthday to me.
Rob.
Here on a Sunday recording.
God
Canada's
damn it.
ruined my birthday.
God.
And not just when I say Canada, not just Cass. I'm blaming the entire country of Canada for ruining my birthday. And I'm not happy about it. So go ahead, turn this episode off. It's gonna suck again.
Oh my God.
Why would you tell people? Because you told them not to listen to my birthday pick too. Why would you tell them not to listen to your own birthday episode?
Facts are facts, guys. I'm sorry, and I feel bad for everybody because I know that this is the one time a year we can celebrate everybody's favorite thing, me, right? And it's going to be messed up now.
Let me tell you, I cannot think of anything in the whole world that I would love more than you.
I know. I appreciate that, Mikey. Thank you.
Sarcasm just right over your fucking. All right. This is a very special day. We are celebrating Rob's birthday. This is Rob's birthday pick. You were very nice with your birthday pick, Robert.
I was.
Extremely nice.
I'm always nice on my birthday.
It's not true. What if, because not last week, the week before that for my birthday, we went over my birthday picks a little bit. What have you picked? Because you picked Night of the Creeps, right?
That sounds right.
Yeah. Because you were spiteful with Tom Atkins.
But you got to see an awesome movie.
No, that movie wasn't awesome. I didn't like it at all.
You're wrong about that. Yeah, I don't remember what I picked over the years.
I can tell you, actually. I remember another one. You picked Kiss Me's the Phantom of the Park.
Yeah. That might have been the best pick I've ever done.
You have been quoted as saying it did everything it was intended to do. That quote will live with me forever.
Yeah, that was a good time for everybody. We all had fun with Kiss Me's Phantom of the Park.
That movie sucked. You picked Rings 2 the Ring 2 last year.
Yeah, that one I remember. I feel like I picked Tusk the year before that.
You did. And Tusk, you were nice too. So I gotta give you that a little bit. And I think that's all the birthday picks. Yeah, there's Kiss Me's Phantom of the Park, you son of a bitch, and Night of the Creeps. All right. So you have been nice before with Tusk, and that was it.
And Night of the Creeps and Kiss Me Some Phantom of the Park. All my birthday picks I've been nice with.
You're spiteful with both of those, and you know it. everything it was intended to do. That is like that when I listened to that, you were doing This Horror Life at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I listened to that and I sat there in awe at how secretly spiteful, like that was the most openly asshole thing I've ever heard in my life without being like, just the subtlety of it all was wild. But yeah, we're going to be talking about Sinners because Rob picked it and he was nice to us. We have a mailbag to get to, drink roll call, a little bit of an extended. We got a pretty full mailbag this week.
Okay.
Yeah. And then we can get into Sinners.
All right.
917-397-KILL.
Trace the call. It's coming from inside the house.
That's 917-397-5455. You can send in a text message, voicemail for the show. You can also sign up for the Patreon, patreon.com/Slasher Radio. John, tiers starting as low as $3 a month. You get a 1-week free trial. This is a great time to get in on that, by the way, because we have like 2 more Patreon picks coming up in a row. YouTube, if you leave a comment on an episode, that's a good way to get in as well. Text messages and all messages are read by Ghostface. If you send in a voicemail, we'll play that on the show and discuss it. Are you guys ready for the voicemail or for the message?
Yes.
Hell of a deal.
Hello, hosts and listeners. Ghostface here, sneaking in just in time for Rob's birthday pick. Yeah, I heard it's his special day. Hope he's ready for some killer surprises because I'm coming for the mailbag. And maybe the cake. Nothing sweeter than birthday screams. So, what spooky secrets are you hiding this week? Call in. Spill the blood. I mean, beans. And Rob, don't forget, birthdays are fun. Until they're not. Happy birthday, friend. These messages are from last week's Hills Have Eyes episode. And the first message is from I.R. Chris. Honestly, Poultrygeist is just one of those dumbest films that I enjoy. It's a turn your brain off and laugh at the stupidness of. But if you are so adamant about it, it might need to be in the next Omen. Especially since Poultrygeist and The Hills Have Eyes tied. You fuckers cherry-picked the film you wanted, instead of putting it on the wheel of Rob.
Oh, boy. Okay. I did not realize Chris is referring to last week's Patreon episode, obviously, and we have nominations, voting. It's a whole process on there for the patrons to decide our movie topic for the week. Looking back, yes, Poultrygeist and The Hills Have Eyes remake were tied when I looked at Chris's message. Everybody knows, Chris, you included, you know better than anybody, that the cutoff for this is like Friday night at midnight or even before that. We need time to watch the movie, obviously, before we record it. So at that time, The Hills Have Eyes won.
Oh, I didn't even know there was controversy around it.
I didn't either until I seen Chris's message. So, but Chris, we didn't cherry pick anything at the time. The Hills Have Eyes had won, and let's just say this too: whoever seen that they voted late, by the way, voting late is fine, whatever. I get people are busy, but if you've seen, around the times we record and all these, everybody knows these things. The patrons usually, if you've seen your vote tied it and you left it like that, shame on you. Like, that's just mean to do in the first place.
Yeah, who would do something and not have a tiebreaker plan?
Listen to the Patreon show. But yeah, Chris, Poltergeist is a terrible movie. If you like it, fine, but you have to realize, like, we're going to view that as a punishment pick. We have no choice. But yeah, there was no controversy there, Chris. You know better than anybody that we need time to watch the movie. And I did try and set an end date to it, but I think I did it on the wrong day. So that might be a little bit on me. But you know better, Chris. We when we have to watch something bad, we watch it. We don't cherry pick around here. There have been a lot of movies that wouldn't have made this show if that's what we did, to be honest with it.
The next message is from Tim. Decent review on The Hills Have Eyes. A much better film. That Poultrygeist. Happy belated birthday, Mikey. It would have been better if you picked a better film. A bigger happy birthday to Rob. Great work on picking a terrific movie like Sinners. Definitely one of the best of the year. Cass, keep being you. Bin Chicken, out.
God damn it.
Let me say, It's common knowledge, I feel like, that I'm a better movie picker than Mikey.
It's not true.
Everybody knows that.
It's not true. I resent that Tim is saying if I would have picked a better film. The Blair Witch Project is a banger.
It's a very good movie. Yeah. It is a very good movie. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think we did more than a decent job on The Hills Have Eyes, if I say so myself.
I agree.
My score was right in line with where that movie should be. It's fine, but it gets a little boring.
No, you guys kind of fucked that movie. It should have been approved. We got yelled at by the alien Debo, too, over that on Twitter.
Oh, yeah, you told me that, yeah.
Yeah, Damien Buffet was not happy with the low scores of that movie. But, no, I think we got in depth on we did a really good job on The Hills Have Eyes. That was a good discussion. But, yeah, screw you, Tim. Why am I defending the Blair Witch Project so much lately?
This goes out to the Dummies of Horror podcast. Fuck you!
Why? What's wrong with me?
I don't know. I will say that there's a lot of discussion that we could get into on Sinners tonight, and we're probably not going to do it because we're not recording on our normal time, and everybody's going to be thrown off. Stuff's going to get missed.
Absolutely not. I am prepared to talk about Sinners. I'm actually looking forward to it. So, boo-hoo, Robert. You're going to be negative on your birthday. It's
going to be a terrible episode. That's all I'm saying.
God damn it. Next message.
The next message is from Greg. Happy birthday, Rob.
Thanks, Greg.
I still think you should have chosen a Twilight film over this. At least Twilight has vampires in the entirety of its film. This did not, and that's why it's not as good as everyone thinks it is.
What?
All right. We'll talk about it.
Greg, there is no way. This button's probably going to delay, but I'm going to try it anyway. There's going to be a delay. Greg, there is no way that you're sitting here and defending Twilight over Sinners. There's no way.
Kick him right in the dick.
That was perfect. There's no way. And you don't need to have vampires in the entirety of the movie for it to be a good vampire movie either. Like, that's ridiculous. All right, next message.
The next message is from Spyro. Happy birthday, Rob. Just for today, you can be my favorite host. Even though you have probably complained you are recording on a Sunday and it's thrown everything off. Big love. Heart hands emoji. Also, it was an anime horror game with sexy waifus that may or may not die in some absolute tragic ways.
Okay.
I don't know what he's talking about the game there or not, but I thank you, Spyro, and we know everybody knows I'm your favorite host. It's fine.
What the hell is a waifu?
I don't know.
Canada, do you know what a waifu is?
No idea.
I think it's like Wi-Fi.
No, like, is it an Australian Wi-Fi? Hold on, I got a waifu definition.
I think it's Australian Wi-Fi.
Okay. This is not a good sign. I've had to Google a lot of definitions for things. Mm-hmm. Google does not. Oh, we're not supposed to be using Google. It got banned.
Yeah, you got to Bing it.
I'll try Bing later. So it's not coming up. So that's usually a bad thing. The term waifu is a word that is used in the, manga, cartoon, video game fandom. The origin comes from, I'm not going to try and say that word. I'm going to mess it up. Something for wife.
Yeah, I don't know anything about that stuff. So
yeah, it seems like maybe a Japanese term for wife. I'm not sure. Right. But remember, Spyro's talking about during the Easter egg of last week's episode, which is extra content that goes up on Patreon. Remember, we were in the middle of laughing at Spyro because he was live and in that little schoolgirl outfit.
Oh, yeah.
And we're making fun of him for playing an anime game, but apparently he wanted us to know that it was an anime horror game. Oh. I couldn't tell, Spyro, is all I'm saying. But you are a trooper, and your listeners, ourselves included, and your viewers, rather, are lucky to have somebody as dedicated to them as you are. Because there is no fucking way I would have did that. And you're a legend for it. I mean that.
You better have that outfit on right now, Mikey.
You didn't ask for it for your birthday, so no. And the only way I'll wear an outfit like that is if you wear it with me and we do it for Halloween, me and you, Robert. So
we're going to dress up as waifus?
Yeah, we're going to be sexy waifus from a horror game. And Spyro has to judge, though, to make sure we pass the test. All right. Yeah, that's fair enough. Good. Good job, Spyro. That's a good one. All right, next message.
The next message is from Tim.
Oh.
I rewatched Sinners last night, and it's gone from a 9.5 to a 10 out of 10. The acting, the soundtrack, the story, everything is perfect. What a perfect film to pick for a perfect birthday. Happy birthday, Mr. Humphrey. R R R R R R R R R R R R R.
R's in the chat.
Yeah, R's in the chat, everybody. Thank you, Tim, for the birthday wishes. We will talk about the movie. It is a movie that does benefit from rewatches. You pick up more things the more times you watch this movie.
Fair enough. Well, we'll get into it, Tim. Hopefully, I'll remember to bring up Tim's score when we score it, because I mean that's high, but we'll get into the movie. All right, last message.
The last message is from IR Chris. Happy birthday to Mr. Humphrey. May your whippets at Fish concerts never run dry, and your tattoo collection grows from random dates you find at meetups.
We'll see.
Yeah, because you did get that matching Freddy tattoo with that girl you picked up in Orlando.
I do have a matching Freddy tattoo, yes, with a young lady that I met at a meetup in Orlando. Yeah,
That's just what I said.
Mm-hmm.
You practically repeated what I said. Chris, don't bring up the whippets anymore, Chris. He doesn't do that. The cape has been retired. He's old man Rob now. He doesn't have fun at these concerts anymore.
I told you about the nice married man that I met and sat next to at the last show. It was fun.
Yeah, what were their names? Phil and Edith or whatever it was. Yeah,
I don't remember his name, but he was a nice guy.
No,
working through some things.
That was the most boring. Like honestly, still to this day, you told me that whenever it was, a few weeks ago, months ago, by now, I don't know, when you went to Fish, you told me that story. I still can't tell if that actually happened and it was just the most boring Fish debut you could have had from the show, or you made it up and purposely made it that boring. I can't.
No, it absolutely happened. He was a nice fella. Him and his wife had moved here about a year ago. She was pregnant. She was up for a job, and if she got it, they might have to move to Raleigh, North Carolina. So they were trying to figure it out.
That I cannot believe that's your Fish story.
It's not the whole thing. I saw the cast members from Southern Charm, a couple rows in front of me, about 4 or 5 rows in front of me.
Yeah, I don't care about that.
So some celebrities.
You went from telling me you met women and lost them and drugs and liquor and grilled cheeses as far as the eye could see. And now you couldn't even get a grilled cheese. That's the other thing, too.
I told you, there was no fucking grilled cheese. The only grilled cheese I could get had pesto on it and tomatoes. Yeah. I don't want that shit.
Even the grilled cheese, even the food part of the story was over. Forget about the drugs and alcohol. That was disappointing enough. You couldn't even get a good grilled cheese out of it.
Yeah, that was disappointing for me. I'm always looking forward to a grilled cheese in the parking lot. I mean, but I don't want all that on it. So
you're a sad shell of yourself. And I want everybody to know, I should have put it up on Patreon. I want everybody to know that I sent Rob don't think that went overlooked. I sent Rob a long, heartfelt message after we recorded that episode. I was very disappointed in you. Broke my heart, man.
You did. You sent me like a letter. It was very nice.
It was a letter, yeah.
We got a chance. It's next month. I'm going to see him in Atlanta. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, maybe you'll see Phil and Ethel there and they can tell you about their dog or whatever the hell.
Yeah, we'll talk about mortgage rates or something maybe.
Yeah. They switched to Geico or whatever the hell you're going to talk about.
Well, this one's outside. Outside Fish is a little wilder.
I don't believe you, dude.
A little nuttier.
I've lost all hope, and this is the position you put me in, and it breaks my heart to say that. So, Chris, if you could refrain from mentioning the whippets and the Rob of past that we all knew and loved, because he doesn't exist anymore. And it hurts me as much to say it as it does for you to hear it. It's the world we're in. All right. That's the end of the mailbag. I feel like we're forgetting something.
We didn't do drink roll call.
Drink roll call. Holy shit. Yeah,
I know.
We did not.
Well, it's a Sunday. Everybody's off the game. So.
Oh, my God.
I also started drink roll call a little early. So that Patreon show was chaotic and also induced me to drink a little bit.
it was a little chaotic.
Yeah. All right. So what are you guys drinking?
I bought I'm drinking bourbon, but I bought a special bottle of bourbon.
Oh.
Well, not special, but it's different. I'm going to send you a picture of it now. And I am drinking from Blue Note Distillery in Memphis. They have a juke joint, straight bourbon whiskey, and it seemed fitting, seeing as how that a juke joint figures heavily into the plot of tonight's film.
Robert,
what?
All visuals from the show go up on Patreon.
Oh, is it the dinosaur notebook?
No, I didn't even notice the dinosaur notebook. It's the Screaming Sicilian mustache that's on top of the bottle.
You know, it's funny. They just sell these bottles like that, I think. I didn't even notice that.
You're full of shit. That would be, they'd get sued if they did that. So I know you're lying. All right. You did this on purpose.
I like the label.
Which one? The Screaming Sicilian or the Blue Note?
No, the Blue Note label. It's a sick label. Is it 3D or is that?
No.
Oh, it
No,
looks
it's
like
not
it's
3D.
3D. It looks like it's textured.
No,
It
it's
does.
not.
It does look like a good bottle, minus the Screaming Sicilian mustache that did not need to be there, Robert. It reminds me of Blue Moon. Like, it looks very much like Blue Moon.
I mean, kind of, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't had Blue Moon in a long time. I used to drink those at fish shows.
Yeah. You used to do a lot of things at fish shows, didn't you?
They tend to sell those at fish shows for some reason, Blue Moon.
You didn't have a Blue Moon last time you went, did you?
No.
Ugh.
It's very expensive, the drinks at that place.
Not even a beer. That's the other part of it, too. Old Rob didn't care about that. He would go into crippling financial debt to have a good time at a fish show. Now you're worried about, it's too pricey for a Blue Moon.
Dude, all right, so let me ask you this. Dude that you called Phil, I don't know his name, so we'll call him Phil. He went to the bar where he could get mixed drinks, cocktails, right? He got a double Tito's and something or another. Guess how much it cost him?
For that one drink?
Yes.
$20.
Nope. $44.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. So no, Rob didn't drink any alcohol when he was at the fish shows.
All right. Well, you could have got a Blue Moon, goddammit. Or like keistered a bottle of Jaeger or something. I don't know, dude. Figure something out. It's Rob at Fish.
So no, I did not have any drinks. I did get I think I got a Mountain Dew one night, and that's got a lot of caffeine in it. That'll get you going, you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. You really went balls to the wall and got you a soda. Good for you, dude.
Yeah. But the Blue Note is it's good. I like it. It's a good bourbon.
Do you think it will? What was the other one that you had that you were hooked on for a while?
Well, that was Buffalo Trace. Buffalo Trace is hard to find here.
Okay.
Weird.
But is it better than that?
No, it's not better than that. But it's Buffalo Trace is very difficult to find in South Carolina for some reason. So I don't know when I'll get another bottle of that.
Fair enough. To celebrate Rob's birthday, I am drinking rum and Coke, but I am drinking rum and cherry Coke.
Of course you are.
Fancy.
What's wrong with that?
No, it's fine. Actually, that's not that bad.
It's not. You just want to be mean to me about it, but you can't because it's not it's a hell of a deal.
Yeah, I do enjoy being mean to you.
You do. Speaking of people who enjoy being mean to me, Cass, are you drinking anything fun?
No, I'm
God
boring
damn
tonight.
it.
I'm just drinking water. I drank way too much last night.
Because you got champagne drunk last night.
Did a lot of things last night.
I don't think we need to talk about those things.
Sounds like an after hours episode right there. What the hell?
Yeah, I don't think that's the discussion.
No, I mixed quite a few different beverages last night.
That does not sound like what you were talking about, though.
No, yeah, I didn't put more context to that. It was beverages, and
we're on YouTube now. These episodes. I don't think we can have this
Some other
conversation any
things.
further. All right. Well, fair enough.
Ours in the chat on the YouTube, by the way.
ours in the chat, baby.
We've been getting some pretty decent. That's the other thing too. For any YouTube listeners that have made it this far, thank you for listening on the YouTube. I mean, we're not like skyrocketing with our episodes on there or nothing, but my expectations for this show going up directly on YouTube were at the bottom. So
sure. Makes sense.
It's hard to get like how many podcasts are on YouTube. We're jumping in however late.
Yeah.
But it's a hell of a lot more than I thought we would get, and I thought we would get like 0. So,
in all fairness, my expectations for this show are always at the bottom. So it's nice.
God.
Good sport, right? I appreciate that. It's good morale right there. Yeah. Good job.
Ours in the chat.
No, we don't have a chat to do that in.
You keep saying that, but people keep putting in ours.
They keep putting ours in the comments.
But there are
Ours in the
some
chat.
YouTubes have chats. I've seen it.
If we were live, we would have a chat. We are not live, so we don't have a chat.
Oh my God, how much fun would it be if we were live?
We should go live. We should go live and just have Rob constantly saying ours in the chat. Or we make a live stream, like a 3-hour-long live stream of Rob saying ours in the chat on repeat.
Oh, yeah.
So that we don't actually have to be there. You have to be there to monitor it, but Rob and I don't have to be there.
Oh, this bullshit. Yeah, that'll help our algorithm. Yeah, absolutely. That'll help us a lot.
Well, we got to come up with something because I want one of those silver play buttons that I see people have, and you need 100,000 subscribers for that. So we got to step up our game.
Dear God. You want a silver YouTube plaque. Your participation on the YouTube was a Royal Rumble video with fucking Leo of all people that tanked.
That is not my fault. Leo's bad for numbers. There's nothing I can do about that. That kid he's anti-charisma, apparently.
Yeah, when we recorded that, he sure was. Yeah, that's just true. But yet, let him loose in a regular Discord call. He's bouncing off the fucking walls. God damn it. All right, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with Rob's birthday pick, Sinners. Hell of a deal. All right, Rob, why don't you, because this is a bit, we don't do recent releases super often.
No, it's because I never know when you see them.
Well, this is my first time seeing this one. And honestly, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world for us to maybe start doing that a little more, for better and worse. Like, this is a really good movie, but we could suffer through the bad ones sometimes too. Maybe something to discuss.
Oh, I know what you did last summer. Coming soon.
Literally what I was thinking.
Whoa.
But yeah, so we're talking about Sinners. We're going to talk about a recent release, which is pretty fucking cool. Rob, out of all the movies in the world you could have picked, especially all the evil ones that I thought you were going to pick, you picked Sinners for your birthday pick. Why?
Well, I told you if you were nice with yours, I'd be nice with mine. And this movie has not left my mind since I saw it in April. And I really just wanted to talk about it. So
it came out in April? God,
I'm pretty sure it was like March or April, something like that. Yeah, and I thought this was going to be the 5th time I'd watched it. This is actually only the 4th time I'd seen it since then.
April 18th it came out.
Yeah. And also, it was out for a couple of weeks before I saw it, so maybe I didn't see it until the beginning of May. But because it was one of those things, like, it had a lot of hype around it, and that tends to turn me off pretty quick to movies where I'm like, wait, because it's not going to live up to it. And then finally I went to see it, and my mind was blown. Like, I think it's a great movie. So I wanted to talk about it. I think there's a lot to get into.
All right. Fair enough.
It's Sunday, so we'll forget all of it, but there is a lot to get into.
Oh my God.
Cass, what are your opening thoughts on this movie?
Phenomenal. Loved it. Loved every single second of it. Loved the visual, loved the acting, loved the story, loved the music. Phenomenal movie. I remember when it first came out, it was getting a lot of really great reviews. And I thought, oh, people are hyping this movie up too much. I feel like once I watch it, I'm not going to like it as much as everyone else is saying. But I stand corrected. I highly, 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 highly liked this movie. And I really want to go and watch it again, like within the next day or two, just to see more.
Okay. I very similar. This is my first time watching it as well. I kind of like Cass, and I say this all the time. When a movie gets hype, I don't want to see it. And not meaning ever, but I'm saying, like, I want to wait for all that to die down, all the dust to clear, and then I want to watch it without any other thoughts, opinions, and shit I've seen on social media. People saying, oh, this sucked, or oh, this is the greatest thing ever since The Exorcist, and all this shit that people say. I don't want any of that. And sometimes I do forget and never get back to the movie is the downside of wanting to do that. But I got to sit with Sinners. Dude, this movie's fucking good. Like, and it's like it's not something that we see very often. Like, the style of the movie in so many ways, as far as like the story, it's a toss up between like Django as far as like story, performances, and everything. And story wise, it's, by the way, this is going to be spoiler filled in case anyone's new here. So if you haven't seen Sinners yet, we're going to fuck this up for you. So press pause, go listen to another episode, and come back here when you see Sinners. But it's a vampire movie. So, some of it's kind of tropey as far as vampires, but it's still like this movie set in 1932, Jim Crow in the middle of Mississippi, all that shit. But yet it mixed in like modern dialogue, and it worked. How many times do we sit and say, oh, this movie was set in the 80s or whatever, and they have iPhones? Dude, like, yes, this should not work. Like, it shouldn't make sense. All that. It shouldn't even be here. They shouldn't have done that. But yet I'm so glad they did, because it worked flawlessly because of the performances and the delivery of the lines and all those things that go into acting. And it worked perfectly.
Yeah. I mean, you get Michael A. Jordan and Michael B. Jordan. It's great.
That's really funny.
That is funny.
If you watch this movie on Amazon, apparently, and I haven't done it because I have HBO Max. I also have it on 4K, but if you watch on Amazon, they do the thing where it'll show you, like, if you move your mouse, it'll show like the cast and stuff that are in scenes. Apparently, when Michael B. Jordan is playing the twins, his name comes up twice. I don't know why they did that.
That's funny.
Like, you could just do it one time. It's fine.
Yeah.
Now, this movie's tremendous. We heard from Chris, who said that, it doesn't have enough vampires for him. I yelled
that was Greg.
Greg, sorry.
Yeah.
I yelled at Greg on his live for saying that, because I think this movie proves that point. Like, when these people die, you give a shit because you've gotten to spend time with them, you've gotten to see the world that they live in, and you know who they are. Like, the deaths in this movie are so impactful every time they happen.
It's true.
Yeah. And I didn't know going into this, I didn't know this was a vampire movie. Swear to God. In my process of waiting to see something until the dust clears down, it is a struggle, and it doesn't always work to avoid anything and everything on these movies.
Oh, yeah.
Sinners included. Like, to avoid spoilers is very hard.
Yeah. What? Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I had no idea it was a vampire, and that was a shocker. Like, I didn't know what way they were going. Like, I had no idea. I knew nothing about this movie other than Michael B. Jordan was in it. That was it.
Right. Well, you knew less than I did when I went to see it, because I knew vampires figured in somehow. What I think is amazing about this movie, and I think what they did was very smart, was risky though. They seemed to just have faith in this movie because there was not a lot of marketing around this film. I saw the trailer once when I was at theaters, and I go to the theater pretty much every week, and I only saw the trailer one time. So I didn't I kind of forgotten about this movie by the time it came out, and it was just word of mouth. Like, people online just talking about, oh, Sinners, you got to see Sinners, you got to see Sinners. And it had this remarkable thing where it actually went up in the box office on its second week, which never happens.
Interesting.
Yeah. And dude, if something's good, people will see it. And I get you can have, there's things like sequel hangovers to, all that stuff. That very much exists. There's no rule of thumb for box office, but I truly believe the one rule is the two rules, I guess, kind of what I was saying, where if a first movie does good, typically the second one's going to do well. But although Megan 2.0, if your trailer sabotages your movie, that's kind of a loophole out of that, Mr. Blum. But anyway, the other rule is if a movie is good, people will tell. That is the best. Having a good fucking movie is the best marketing you can do.
Absolutely. Having a great opening weekend isn't really a sign that your movie's good. It's a sign that your marketing department did a good job to get people to go to the theater opening weekend to see it, right?
Mm-hmm.
It depends on, the thing you really want to look at is the second weekend. How much did it drop off? Because movies almost always go down. There are some, Sinners is one, but there are some other ones that have gone up in their second weekend, but it's extremely rare. And when you see that, you're like, holy shit, that must be good. Because people have gone back to work and they've talked to their friends and they told people, this movie's really good, you got to go check it out. Mm-hmm. But because movies, even great movies, usually drop in their second weekend.
Yeah. And just by rule of thumb of people going to see it, just normalities of it all. And this, if your movie's good, people will tell people. And marketing is great. Like, I'm not sitting here trying to say it doesn't do its job. Marketing, there's shit being marketed to us that we don't even know is being marketed to us, and it fucking works somehow. It's very ingrained and it's very real. But having a good movie is above all else important. And it may not help you immediately, but it does, because there's things like I'm blanking, Leslie Vernon. Like, movies become cult classics, even if they don't make big box office slams like Sinners does. They can become cult classics and have a life like that. Evil Dead was very much a movie like that, where the movie was good and people told people about it. And now we're in an age of social media where people can tell people about it immediately, and people are going to go out and see that movie. Yeah. And dude, this thing, I love Django. Django is an incredible, Jamie Foxx, incredible performance. Like, that movie it has a message, which is very important, and it put through in an incredible way.
Mm-hmm.
Acting was great. The story of the movie, even aside from the message, which was phenomenal, but even just the base story of a movie that Django was great. Like everything about Django was great. The cinematography, all that. And this movie felt very much like it. And I don't think it had anything to do with the time where the movie was set. I think it was just this movie did something that I noticed first in Django. The tones of the movie visually match Django too. Very dark and internal, settings and all that, like the walls and all that shit. The cinematography style was very much like Django, but the way they set up their characters reminded me so much of Django because it was very quick interactions.
Mm-hmm.
It must seem like this is a terrible way to write dialogue for a movie or a scene for a movie, but those quick interactions, like when they went into the store and they were haggling over the price, they were very quick interactions, not much said, very much to the point, but they define the characters perfectly. Yeah. And you don't waste a lot of time. This movie had, what was it, like 2 hours, 17-minute runtime?
Yeah, that sounds right. Something like that.
To define these characters at the beginning of the movie might hurt it, on paper anyway, because you're already at such a long runtime. So that quick, fast-paced run through these characters, I seen it first in Django and noticed it.
Yeah, and I think that, the vampire, we don't see the vampire or the lead vampire or whatever you want to call him in this movie until about the 43-minute mark. But those 43 minutes are not boring, right? Like you're following the movie. Like, I got to be honest with you. I'd love this movie if there were no fucking vampires in it. If they just open a juke joint, because I'm along for the ride. And part of that is doing what you were kind of talking about. I love movies where we see sort of everybody like assembling the team, know, and usually they don't, it's not done as well in most movies as it is here, where we get to know the characters right away, right? But like things like the Blues Brothers, where they're trying to gather up and going to get the guys from the band, and we get to learn a little bit about them as they pick them up. Or even like Ocean's 11, where they're putting the team together, Yeah. I love that kind of thing. This is much more effective at teaching me who these people are, though, in those scenes than like Ocean's 11. They become like a stereotype or a caricature in Ocean's 11. Here, by the time they all gather at the juke joint, all the main characters, I know who they are. Like, I know who they are. I can tell you something about them. It's so effective.
And part of why it's effective and it's so to the point of who the characters are is because some of the points they make on saying, hey, this is the type of character this character is. He just shot the fuck out of somebody because he don't play. Like his loud moments, of big moments, like you've seen in Django, dude. Like they were shooting motherfuckers, and like the points came across so strong, so early, so quick. And sometimes they weren't as strong. It was just haggling in that shop. But it's still like it was very to the point, and you got to know. And those big moments also make the beginning of these movies and defining these characters less boring, because there's a lot of shit going on. They're making liquor and they're shooting people and all this shit.
It works for the pacing of the movie too. Like I feel if it got rushed and we got straight to the bloodbath, you wouldn't feel that connection with the characters when they did die, or when they had their moment in the film. So I also give huge credit to the pacing of this film, because I feel like it was a very patient film in the sense of you're not rushing into it. You're really getting to know these characters to build that, bond with them to make the movie more impactful to you.
Yeah. And we're learning about the world that they live in at the same time, right? Like we're being told stories like Slim's story about his friend, Rice, who wanted to start a church in Little Rock and ended up getting lynched at the train station. And you're seeing the chain gang working on the side of the road. And, it's Sammy's going to the church to talk to his father. It's all these little conversations that they're having. You're learning something. You're either learning about the characters or the world that they live in, or both.
Yeah. And that's the thing, man. It felt smooth. Like it on paper, it has to look choppy. Like I don't know how I would love to see what the script or the screenplay for this movie looks like, because it's got to look like shit on paper, from what we know about movies and defining characters and all these things. But it felt so smooth. It didn't feel rushed and any of that, dude. It was quick to the point, got there, no bullshit, no time wasted. And this isn't like an hour and a half movie where you could have spent more time. You're looking at a 3-hour movie if you sit with all these characters, figure out who they are.
Yeah.
Michael B. Jordan was incredible. absolutely incredible.
There
I
is
don't-
not a bad
Michael
performance
A
in this
and B.
film.
True. Yeah, both of them. Both of them.
Yeah. And Michael B. Jordan, his performance is what everybody's going to talk about. Obviously, he's playing two characters, and he is great at it. He's playing the twins.
His own ass, dude.
Yeah, he's playing the twins, Smoke and Stack. By the time they get to the fight scene, I have gotten in my head those are two completely different people. Like, it wasn't until the second or third time I was watching this going, Michael B. Jordan's fighting himself, because I had just separated them entirely, because he plays them. Yes, they look alike. They're identical twins, but they have different mannerisms. They have different ways of talking. They have different personalities. Smoke is sort of the no nonsense. I'm a soldier. I'm all about business. We're here to make money. Whereas Stack is more, he's a little looser, a little smoother talking kind of guy,
Dude, I'll tell you real quick. It took me like maybe half a minute to even realize they were two different, because I was looking at it going, damn, they look alike. Okay. And then I was like, wait a minute. God. They're both Michael B. Jordan, because the manner, like you said, he was playing two different roles simultaneously.
Yeah.
Well, obviously cuts and everything. I get it. But visually what we're seeing, it was crazy.
Yeah, and they do a great thing, too, because they show off a little bit with it, right? Like, when we first meet them, they're doing the thing where they're passing the cigarette and the lighter back and forth, right? Like, it's incredible. Yeah. It's seamless. It's so amazing. But yeah, he's incredible in this movie, but so is everyone else. I mean, all the way down the cast list, everyone is brilliant in this film.
Mm-hmm. I love Haley Steinfeld in this.
Yeah, Haley Steinfeld's great. I almost lost him when I saw Delroy Lindo. Like, I haven't seen that guy in a movie. I don't know what he's been doing. He's either hasn't been acting or he's been in stuff I haven't seen. But it's been a long time, and I was super excited to see him because he's just a great actor.
Yeah, everybody killed it. Dude from 8 Mile was in this movie, too. That was nice to see. Haven't seen him in a ton of shit.
Yeah.
Wait, which dude?
I think his name is Cornbread.
Oh,
yeah.
He was in 8. Oh, he was he was in 8 Mile. I haven't seen 8 Mile in a long time. Yeah.
Omar Benson Miller.
Yeah, he's great. Cornbread's great, a great character. You know who he is right away when we meet him. Doesn't take any time at all.
and it goes that, and I'm mad that I always forget his name the way I do, because he is a phenomenal. He always stands out. You may not remember his name, like it slipped me, but if you point out his character to someone who you know exactly who he is, because he just stands out. That's a sign of a great actor, man.
No, it absolutely is. I haven't seen 8 Mile in years, so I didn't remember him being in that movie, but no, he's great in this. Everybody's just fantastic. All the way across the board. I love this movie for that. I think that one of the things that's so great about this movie is it is simultaneously a big, grand, almost epic sized movie, but it feels very small and very personal.
I agree with that.
And I think that, and I think it was a personal film for Ryan Coogler, and we'll talk a little bit about it in trivia. There were some things that he discovered and everything, but mostly he just does a great job of telling that. And I think a lot of it has to do with the aspect ratio shifts throughout the film. Sometimes it's just wide open and it feels like a big wide open movie, and then other times when you need to be drawn into like a more intimate sort of character driven thing, it shrinks down.
It does. Yeah. Well, like when Michael A. or B. Jordan died, like,
yeah,
dude, it got intimate very fast, and it wasn't that kind of movie. I mean, it showed flashes of it, but it got deeper into that there in that moment, and that room looked so small. And you're right, Rod. Like, I didn't really notice it while watching it, but since you bring it up, dude, that barn or building or whatever that they bought, it when I see it from the outside, it looks so much smaller than it looks when you're inside in the movie. Yeah. And there are times where it looks smaller while you're in there. And it's weird how they're able to do that. But yeah, no, that's very true. Yeah. And they did it in the right spots. It wasn't just randomly it looked bigger and smaller or whatever. It was in moments where it called for it. Yeah, that's a very good point. Look at you.
Yeah, no, it's very effective. And honestly, a lot of times shifting aspect ratios irritate me.
Because it's random and not intentional a lot of times.
But it's used really, really well in this film. And I did see it when I saw it in the theater. I saw it in quotes, IMAX. We don't have a true IMAX theater here in town, but there's like a generic version. And it looks fantastic. I mean, the movie's just gorgeous to look at.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And
we're talking about the music, sorry. Like,
yes.
The music with the visuals, phenomenal.
Yeah.
So well done.
Yeah, I mean, the scene, everybody knows the scene where Sammy's playing and the barn is on fire, and you're seeing like just the different generations of music and everything. It's so fucking good.
And it had several moments of that, because the scene where they're all partying and they're performing on stage and all that, dude, that song was a banger too, by the way. Like, what a what a banger of a song. Like, they did a great job just throughout this whole movie. That was a great scene. It matched with all the chaos that started happening, and you heard that in the background. And my favorite thing of all of it, of the whole score of the movie, obviously we mentioned this is a vampire film for anyone who hasn't seen it and you're still here for some reason, but that those tones of that Dracula vampire towards like the fight scene and all that, absolutely fucking phenomenal.
Yeah. Yeah, the music in this film is just incredible all the way through. I love the scene where they're stomping the guy who has the loaded dice, and they're stomping him in rhythm with the song that's playing.
The music, I love that. Yeah. I thought that was so well done.
Yeah, it's so good. Or even the like old Irish folk songs. I don't know those songs, but it was awesome. Like, they sounded great. I was like, I walked out of the theater like, pick poor Robin Clean, you know, fucking singing this song. I know this fucking song, but it's all of it's so good. It's so catchy. And yeah, it was, all of it's just fantastic. And I love blues music. I used to host a blues specialty show on a radio station that I worked at in Northern California. I really do love blues music. So like, just it factoring in so much into the sound of the movie and also into the story of the movie, I was super excited about. You know, as soon as they mentioned Charlie Patton, I was like, oh shit, all right, I'm in. But yeah, it's the music is fantastic in this film.
Yeah. Those Dracula, I don't even know what to call it, but the score of like, because it wasn't like old school Dracula. It was like a modern take on it, and the hits of it were on point with what was happening. Because like I said, it was going on through the fight scene, you know, so it's like the impact moments, they really jammed that score and spiked it. Dude, it was so fucking good, and it gave Dracula vibes, like 1,000,000%, which again, another thing that does not seem like it belongs in this movie, but it fucking worked somehow.
Yeah, it absolutely fits.
Yeah. Also, another thing kind of tying into the whole Dracula stuff with the score, these were great vampires. The way they used them was incredible, because vampires, we've kind of seen a less drastic but similar in some movies to like the issue we have with zombies, where you can have Night of the Living Dead zombies, which are very, very slow, and all you have to do is a slight jog and you're safe and home free, right? No problem. Or you have like World Z zombies, where they're climbing fucking mountains at lightning speed at you, and they just vary so much where you need to get a middle ground to do it correctly. I feel like these vampires, hell, we've seen vampires sparkle in the woods, haven't we, guys?
Our favorite
movies. We need to finish that series.
No, we don't.
So anybody listening, feel free to join our Discord and vote for Twilight for Friday Night Movie Night.
Yes,
please. And welcome to join.
Feel free to join our Discord and not vote for Twilight. That's an option too. But
Ours in the
anyway,
chat, or tease for Twilight.
Tease in the chat. But we've had these things like vampires. They're very drastically different from movie to movie, and I feel like the vampires and sinners, they were very strong in moments, but it was more so the way they utilized them that made it almost perfect, because they had the strength, they had the speed, they could fly, you know, they were very deadly, but they followed certain rules from like vampire, I don't know if you want to call it mythology or tropes, whichever one you want to go with, and made them sophisticated enough and very intelligent. And it was almost like a deeper fear of how in tune they were with the person they were controlling, or they've turned into his memories and all that stuff. And dude, I really like the vampires in this movie.
Well, it's almost like they're turned into a vampire, but they're still the same person.
Yeah.
Right? Like we see Stack after he's been turned into a vampire, trying to convince his brother to step outside and join them. And it's very, he still feels very much like the character of Stack. It's an interesting take on vampires. I think like a lot of the mythology is the same, like you said, garlic and steaks and sunlight and all that shit. But there's also like this weird like hippie mythos to the vampires in this movie where they're like, we can all live as one and all that, you know.
One big happy family.
Yeah, one big happy family. And I know that Ryan Coogler talked about that in an interview where he said that that's not bullshit. Like, he wanted the character of Remick to actually believe that. Like, he wanted Remick to want everyone to live in harmony. Because what Remick really wants is Sammy, because Sammy can bring back the ancestors from the past, and he's stuck on Earth, so he can't ever meet his ancestors in the afterlife. But through Sammy's music, his belief is that Sammy could bring his ancestors here to him so that he could visit with them at least for a little while. So it sounds weird to say it, but in all actuality, he's kind of not an evil guy, even though he's a vampire.
Yeah.
Well, it's true. That was the big debate about this movie online after it came out was, is he really the bad guy of this film?
Well,
yeah.
I mean, I think that he also represents a lot of things in this film. Mostly sort of, the concepts of assimilation and appropriation. And he's constant, and I think this film deals a lot with that and sort of the struggle of how much of yourself and your culture and your own identity are you willing to give up to blend in? You know, we see that with Mary's character, who is she's an eighth or a quarter black? I don't remember which one because I don't math very well, but she can pass as white, and that was something that was very common at that time. If you were light skinned enough and could pass as white, that was a decision you had to make, right? Because obviously, if you could pass as white, your life is going to be much easier. But how much of yourself are you willing to give up? And I think that's a lot of what Remick sort of represents in this film also. It's sort of, come join us. You're giving up everything, but we're all going to live happy together.
Yeah. And that's the thing, dude. Like, they portray it that way. Like, it's very much what they were going for and what they executed properly, because they were all out there fucking partying and everything. Like, after that whole, before the fight scene, but after the whole, exposure of the vampires.
I don't remember who I heard call it this. I would give them credit if I did, but somebody called that the vampire river dance.
It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Is that like the Irish jig?
Yeah.
Honestly.
But yeah, they're doing all that. Like, Remick's not full of shit. He's not trying to trick them so that they'll come out and he can murder all of them and drink their blood, right? He's legitimately offering them a different path. The question they're faced with is, do they want to accept that path or not?
Yeah. And it's not like entirely wrong, really, when you think about it. Like, obviously it's wrong, but I'm saying in their world and what they're doing, and these characters that are now vampires and have lived on this earth for however long, and have this whole group and community of people that they have turned into vampires, dude, they sell it as good intentions, and it looks like it, and we only have to go through what we see in the movie, because I'm sure there's a whole nother side to it where, or at least I assume there's a whole nother side to it where, maybe there is a bunch of bad shit going on, like when they're not dancing and when this is all over and they are selling people or trying to pull them into this side of evil. But really, the other page of it is it real? And that's what the controversy or the conversation is online about the movie is, maybe they mean that shit. Maybe it's real.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Hard to believe.
Now, you did sit through and see the mid-credit scene, right?
Yes.
Okay. Because I did read, I meant to tell you guys about that, to make sure you watch the mid-credit scene, because there are apparently in theaters where a lot of people who got up and left as soon as the credits start rolling. And I feel like the movie doesn't really end if you don't see the mid-credit scene.
Yeah. And it just, I like movies that add question. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I feel like it was a weird choice to separate that scene from the rest of the movie with that little bit of like mid-credit. Like, I don't know why they did that, because that feels like the ending of the movie to me. Like, I don't understand why they did that.
I was going to ask you that. I thought so too. I was like, why is this an end credit scene?
Yeah, it's very it's very strange. But, and again, people did get up and walk out of the theater, I guess, before it happened. Now, I was not leaving the theater because it's not just text on a black screen that's playing. Buddy Guy is playing the guitar, and I will never leave a room if Buddy Guy's playing the guitar in it. So watching that, but I was very glad that I didn't, because that does very much feel like the final scene of this film. And it is, I don't know if they felt like tonally it needed to be separated from everything else, which I guess makes kind of sense, but it still seems like a weird choice.
Yeah, I disagreed strongly. And I didn't know if it was like a situation where they just felt they needed an end credit scene.
Yeah, well, they have another one at the very end.
Okay.
Other credits, but it's not really a scene. It's Sammy sitting in a church and he's singing This Little Light of Mine. I mean, it's worth watching because the guy's voice is incredible. But so they had that, but just putting that in the sort of mid credit, it's kind of a baffling decision. But it is there.
Yeah, it is. And I usually it's like the end scenes are like a cliffhanger. You know, like this one wasn't really like a cliffhanger. It was more like closure almost, in a way. Like it felt that way more than like a cliffhanger.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's why I feel like you put it at the end of the movie, right? Like just leave it there. You don't have to separate it. But the only thing, like I said, I can figure is like tonally they thought it needed to be separated for some reason.
I could see that.
I mean, that's the only thing that I guess kind of makes sense, but it is sort of a weird decision. There are a lot of different influences on this movie. Some of them are obvious, some of them are not. Mikey, I don't know if you noticed the obvious influence of The Thing on this movie when they're doing the garlic scene. It's very much like the blood testing scene in the movie The Thing.
Yeah, I could see that. I didn't pick up on that. You did, Cass?
Yeah, I did.
I didn't pick up on it, but it does make very much sense.
Yeah, very good scene. It's really well done. Although we've seen these characters almost all the time, so I was pretty sure none of them were vampires anyway, So it was maybe a little less effective than The Thing, where one of them is The Thing.
Yeah.
Right. But still it worked. And it gave Slim a chance to be kind of funny again, which I always appreciated. He was great comic relief in this film, a lot of funny lines and stuff.
So was Cornbread too, though. Like it had several characters that did several things, and I think maybe that's why the cast as a whole worked so well. Like everyone had their role, and the roles changed at times, and like everyone just the tone of the whole situation and everybody involved in it adapted.
Right, yeah, because I think of Slim, I talk about him being comic relief and having some funny lines, and he does, but he also has the story about his friend being lynched in a train station, which isn't funny at all. Right. And it just adds weight and depth to the film. So yeah, and he's given that opportunity, and Cornbread has some very funny lines. It is a funny movie. There's a lot of funny stuff in it. I don't know. I think that the end credit scene or the end scene, the last scene there, I was stunned to see Buddy Guy. I was glad that they got him to do it. Legendary blues guitar player. Let him come in, play older Sammy. He was great. He didn't have a whole lot. It was just the one small scene, but he didn't ruin the movie or anything. So tip of the cap to Buddy Guy on that, and Ryan Coogler for making the choice to cast him, because he's not an actor. Right.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Kelly Clarkson with Wayfair. My favorite thing about the holidays? Decking out my whole house. It's not a competition, but if it was, well, I'd win the season with Wayfair. Outdoor inflatable Santa? Got it on Wayfair. Trees, lights, and ornaments? Wayfair. Hosting must-haves like dining sets, beds, sheets, and towels? Wayfair. For everything in your style delivered with fast and free shipping, visit wayfair.com or the Wayfair app to win the season. But again, it's not a competition.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
I always feel the pressure to find the perfect gift for my relatives. In this case, whether you're sending an unforgettable gift or treating yourself to everyday perfection, Omaha Steaks delivers the world's best steak experience. For me, I'm not just into steaks. I like all types of meat. That's why I'll usually get the Winter's Best Seller Pack. It comes with juicy fillets, chicken breast, pork chops, and even burgers. Omaha Steaks offers unrivaled quality and variety, and every bite is backed by their 100% guarantee. A family-owned company with over 100 years of experience in the meat industry. Save big on unforgettable gifts with Omaha Steaks. Visit omahasteaks.com for 50% off site-wide and earn an extra 20% off select favorites during their cyber sale. And for an extra $35 off, use promo code YUM at checkout. That's omahasteaks.com, promo code YUM at checkout. Terms apply. See site for details. Go to omahasteaks.com to get 50% off site-wide plus an extra 20% off select favorites and more limited-time deals during their cyber sale. And use promo code YUM at checkout for an extra $35 off. Minimum purchase may apply. See site for details. A big thanks to our advertiser, Omaha Steaks.
I mean, this is one of those movies where it's hard to find anything negative for me to say. There are a couple of strange edits in the movie, where it seems like characters go from one part of the juke joint to another very quickly. And it left me scratching my head. Like, how was, like, at one point Smoke is upstairs, we see him upstairs, sort of on that balcony, and then, like, literally moments later, he's downstairs in the crowd, and I'm like, it feels like maybe a scene or something could have happened in there to mentally give it time for him to come down. You know what I mean? Like, it just seemed a little too quick.
Yeah.
Do you think the runtime had something to do with that, and they were cutting off fucking anything?
I mean, maybe, because the other complaint that I have are there are, like, two scenes that feel incomplete to me. The one is when they Smoke and Sammy are upstairs on that balcony, and Sammy tells him, you know, you might as well kill me right now. And he pulls his gun and he points it and he says, you know, I'm a soldier and you just gave me a command. But then he just puts his gun away and the scene just ends, and it feels like incomplete to me. Like, what happened? You know what I mean? Like, that just feels odd. Like, it ended oddly. And then the other one is when they're in the car after Slim has told the story of his friend Rice, who got lynched at the train station. He starts stomping his feet and kind of humming, and Stack says to Sammy, you got that guitar in your hand, don't you? This is the blues. And then Sammy gets ready to play it, and then they cut away. And that just felt like a weird cut to me, like an incomplete scene in some way.
I obviously have no fucking idea, but it just seems like they were trimming off clips of anything, you know, to kind of trim this down a little bit, because it is a bit of a long runtime. You know, if you keep in just those 3 or whatever scenes of, even though they might have been short, they could have been a couple of minutes. Like, you're looking at a 2.5 hour movie, and this is already 2:17. You know, so I could see that maybe being the reason.
I get it, but it just stands out. They stood out to me.
It does.
Every time I watched, even the first time I watched it, I was like, oh, that seems like a weird place to cut the scene.
Yeah. The only negative thing that I have to say about it is the ending seemed a little abrupt, of the whole movie I'm talking about. I'm not saying I hated it. I'm not saying it was bad. I'm not saying it wasn't complete. It just felt a little rushed. I don't know how else you end it. You know, if you don't do it that way, then you just have, I guess, Michael A. or B. Jordan shooting a bunch of, or staking a bunch of not zombies, vampires, which can get unbelievable. So, like, I don't know how else you do it, but it just felt rushed. Is that a me thing, or?
I felt the same way. I felt that there was a couple of scenes that were a very well done scene, but I wish was longer because I wanted more of it.
Fair.
Like the one that you're describing. Yeah.
And if for it to be the end of the movie,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Like, he stakes one vampire, and they all turn into flames.
Well,
and
I mean, they all turn into flames because the sun is coming up.
Oh, okay. See, I missed. I didn't catch that.
No, it's
okay.
So that's you fair. Can see the sunrise behind them, and as the sun comes up, and that's why they all turn into flames. Because Annie even says you can kill the one that turned them, but you have to kill them individually. Like, it's not a kill the head vampire.
I was
and they all
confused.
Die.
Yeah.
But
go ahead,
sorry, I'm jumping in for a second, because he smacks him in the head with the guitar, and that piece of metal sticks in his head, and then all the other vampires are like, "Ow."
Right, because they said later, right before Annie gets bitten by Stack, she says they can feel his pain because it's a hive mind, right? The vampires all have a hive mind. That's why I'm blanking on his name. The head vampire, he can speak Chinese, right? Because we see him speak it to the Chinese woman. It's because he's in the brain. They are sharing brains basically with her husband, who is also Chinese. So that we learn at that point in the movie, and then at some point he gets hurt. Remick is his name. Remick gets hurt at some point, and all the vampires kind of are like phased by it. And she says they can feel his pain. So when he gets smacked in the head with the guitar, they all start writhing in pain because they can feel the pain. And also, the thing I wonder about that is whether that metal plate in the guitar was supposed to be silver or not.
I was thinking that,
because that seems very expensive for 1932, right? Like that seems like it would be an extremely expensive thing to make that piece of the guitar out of. But maybe it's supposed to be. I don't know. That's kind of unclear.
Yeah. Okay, but that makes a lot more sense. But even at that, dude, it's like they were all hanging around, knowing the sun is coming up, and like, what was their plan otherwise? Like where. I mean, yeah, they could have just scurried off somewhere and whatever, even that would have seemed rushed.
Yeah, I think at that point the plan was, for Remick's plan anyway, was to turn Sammy and then get to safety, right? Get inside the building.
Yeah, but you're still pushing time though, because he's sitting there having a whole conversation, song and dance with what's his name in the water. He's about to kill.
Yeah, it's going on for a while, and I don't know if that's because he's not supposed to realize the sun is coming up or what the deal is with that. I mean, he ends up getting staked before the sun comes up anyway.
Right.
But and that whole speech, like I love that scene so much when he's talking about how Sammy's saying the Lord's Prayer, and Remick is saying, the men who took our land brought us those words, and even though I hate those men, those words still bring me comfort. Like that whole speech is so great. Also has you wondering how old Remick is, right? He's got to be super old.
Yeah.
Right? Because
well, that's the thing. Vampires have been around, like they live forever.
Yeah. And also you can see his hands, like they're changing, and like his fingers are getting longer and longer every time it seems like we cut back to him and stuff. So yeah, I think I really think that's a great scene. I really like it. Yeah,
I love the effects, and I love how they look. Like we were talking about this earlier about how even though they're vampires, they still look human. Mm-hmm. So the little, like the twinkle in the eye of, the very, very faint coloring, the
eyes, and also the drool. Mm-hmm. Which, Mikey, you let Haley Steinfeld drool in your mouth like that?
Nope. Not a fan of drool, spit, saliva. Absolutely not. That was disgusting.
Nope, not going there either. That was a big thing on the internet for a while. People were like, I let her do that to me, and I'm like,
no. I'd be like, lady, no, get off of me.
She's dating.
Now you ruined it all.
She's dating your quarterback, by the way. Did you know that?
Josh Allen, yes, I did.
Yeah. But yeah, so that. But yeah, the drool and the eyes and stuff. I mean, it is. I really like the. Great. Yeah, I really like the way they portray the vampires. The eyes are great because they work in the scene with Cornbread, right, where he goes out to pee and there's like fireflies around, and then you just see those eyes. It's so good.
Yeah. Like I said, it's not to say I didn't like the ending. It just felt rushed, and that's my only complaint. Like if we're talking about something to nitpick about, that's it. And it felt, and I didn't like the fire effect either. That was
really, dude, turned into a fire tornado. That looked awesome.
It could have. That's my only doubt. Like the effects in this movie were absolutely practical, and I guess I don't know. Like obviously,
I wasn't a fan of the CGI effects. That
the eyes were good.
The eyes were very, very good. The thing that I didn't like is the opening scene with the snake was too fake for me. Like it didn't look like a real snake at all. In the back of their truck, and there was a couple of scenes with Michael A. and B. Jordan that, like, when they were passing off the smoke to one another, like it didn't really seem overly organic. I know obviously like what they're working with, but there was a couple scenes that kind of bugged me. There was one part, I think it was when there was one guy got killed outside, and he had blood shooting from like his abdomen, and it just seemed too fake for my liking. I'm like, that's something that you don't need to do with CGI. You can do practical effects with that, and that was my only beef with the movie.
That's fair.
I mean, one other little nitpick is that when the vampires burst into the mill, the lady throws a Molotov cocktail at him, and he swats it aside, and it catches part of the building on fire. How is that building still standing the next morning? It's a wooden building.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like that thing would have been engulfed in flames and burned down by then. But again, that's a small thing in my mind. Like, it's not going to ruin everything that this movie is, because it's incredible.
Yeah, I agree. The last thing that I had to bring up anyway, and it was something that I seen Slashing Cast, our friends over at Slashing Cast, mentioned on Twitter. And again, I had avoided everything about this movie until I seen it. Like, I didn't want any spoilers. So critics, all that shit, like I stood the hell away from it. And I seen that they mentioned that there's a lot of different platforms that are how do I put it? There's a lot of places that want to take horror, like the title, the genre of horror, out of movies that are successful and big. And I totally agree with them. And I, after seeing the movies, looked around briefly because we had to record this. There, I do see people kind of acting like this isn't a horror movie, and it's absolutely wild that people do that. And this stigma of horror movies being like a B list or even a D list thing, and all that, like, people really need to understand, especially if you're in the shoes of a critic on a platform. I'm not saying these are the platforms, but things like Rotten Tomatoes and IMDb and stuff that gets real attention and are large platforms, you really need to get that stigma out of your head because it doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah. I mean, people are doing it all the time. There are some people that will tell you The Shape of Water is not a horror movie.
That's not a horror movie.
People are constantly trying to erase horror movies. It's unbelievable. Something gets attention, something wins awards, and everybody's all of a sudden saying it's not a horror movie. It's ridiculous.
I said that before the awards. Awards had nothing to do with that. But it's true though, Rob. You got to admit, it's fucked up.
No, I see. Yeah, people do it all the time. There's a lot of weird, fucked up conversation to have about that people have had about this movie since it came out. I don't know if I've got this in the trivia or not, but did you guys see the Variety thing?
No.
They were talking about the box office returns and how this movie wasn't really that much of a success at the box office and the whole thing. Yeah, even Ben Stiller of all people came and yelled at Variety about it.
Good for him, man.
Yeah. There's some other stuff, but we'll get into that. I know the other stuff is in trivia. But yeah, it was just ridiculous. Like, fuck you, Variety. Interesting that this was the movie they chose to say that about, right? The horror movie with a black writer and director and an all black cast for the most part. That's the one that you're going to point fingers at and talk about how it's not really that much of a success when clearly it's dominating the box office.
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah, I don't understand how anybody can come to that. Especially, I didn't hear about that. That's ridiculous.
Oh, it was people were livid over it.
I don't blame them. But yeah, man, it's just gross that continues to happen, especially recently where, I mean, maybe not so much this year. I don't know. I don't know. This year's been pretty strong for horror movies. Maybe not so much quality, but definitely quantity. There's been a lot that are big in the box office. But dude, the last maybe stretch of 4 years, like, dude, the horror genre has done really well in the like, even Halloween 2018. You could even go back as far as then. Like, dude, that was arguably the biggest movie of the year. I don't know what came out that year, but it's arguable. Like, as far as anticipation, fandom, all those things, like, it's in the conversation.
Yeah.
So it needs to stop, is all I'm saying.
Yeah, fair enough. I agree. Stop saying The Shape of Water is not horror.
No, that I'm gonna keep saying. Yeah. All right. I don't have anything else really to hit on. This was a great movie, and it's hard not to. Oh, the invitation thing. That real quick, because I love that, where they need to be invited in.
Yeah.
Like, that's old school vampire tropes. Kind of Children with the Black Eyes. That whole story kind of adapted this a little bit into it. But that started, it was hinted at with like Bela Lugosi and all the like 1931 Dracula and all those things. It was like a hinted rule, but it didn't really move forward as a rule for vampires, but it kind of was hinted on for a long time, even dating back to 1931. But I love that, dude. Like, that was kind of what I was going into earlier, where they made rules for their vampires to limit them and make them make sense in a movie.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, I love the way the vampires were handled in this film.
Yeah. All right. So are we ready to go into trivia and whatnot?
Yeah, there's a lot for this movie, so hold on to your hat. If I like a movie, there tends to be more.
Hold on to your butts.
Budget for this movie, estimated $90 million. Worldwide gross, $365.8 million.
God damn.
Sad to report, Mikey, there is no Danza in Sinners.
Stop it.
Unfortunate.
I get to do it. It's my birthday.
Unfortunate.
Yeah. Director Ryan Coogler said that two of his biggest influences for this film were From Dusk Till Dawn and The Faculty, both films directed by Robert Rodriguez.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. So some of these are kind of long. Usually I cut the long ones out because I'm usually quite drunk by this time, and tonight's no exception. I mean, I'm a little less drunk because it's Sunday and I have to work tomorrow, but
So
still.
that's tomorrow's problem, right, Rob?
That's right. It's tomorrow's problem. It's particularly significant that Remick is introduced fleeing from the Choctaw hunters. Not only is the movie set in the historic Choctaw homeland, there's a long history of cooperation between the Choctaw and the Irish. The Irish potato famine occurred 16 years after the Choctaw, Cherokee, Muskogee, Seminole, and Chickasaw peoples were forced to walk the Trail of Tears. Knowing tragedy and hunger themselves, Choctaw and Cherokee survivors donated hundreds of dollars to support famine relief. In 2017, Ireland erected the Kindred Spirit sculpture in acknowledgement of friendship between the two peoples, with a companion sculpture called Eternal Heart installed on Choctaw land in 2024. When the coronavirus pandemic began in 2020 and the Navajo and Hopi nations were hit especially hard, Ireland sent $2 million in relief, crediting it to the Choctaw kindness in their time of need. I don't think that's an accident.
No.
You know, for this film. And that is one thing about this movie, the next thing as well, where there's a lot of history that's baked into this movie that's extremely accurate, and I had no idea. Like, I didn't know that the Choctaws helped out the Irish people during the potato famine, you know? But, you know, it's interesting that they found that out and they found a way to work it into the movie.
Yeah.
And, I really appreciate that. And this next thing's the same way. Dolly Lee is an Asian American journalist and documentary filmmaker. She's listed in this movie's end credits as a consultant on Mississippi Delta Chinese history. Though she was born and raised in Brooklyn and now lives in Los Angeles, she made a documentary in 2017, a segment for the TV series Untold America, on the generations of Chinese Americans who lived in the Mississippi Delta for over a century. The narration in the segment explains that the Chinese originally came here to work in the cotton fields. With the end of slavery, plantation owners could no longer depend on the free labor of slaves, so they looked to the Chinese, who were cheap, disposable, and politically voiceless. But with harsh conditions and little pay, working in the fields didn't last long, and they soon started opening grocery stores in small towns up and down the Delta. Those stores played a uniquely important role in the segregated South, serving the black and white community. And this its significance meant more than 70% of the population got their groceries and everyday goods from tiny Chinese community. Basically, what it boils down to is there was actually a family who owned some grocery stores. There were two different buildings that were across the street from each other. One served black people, the other served white people, and that's exactly what we see with the Chinese family, the Chows, in this film.
Mm-hmm.
So it's again based in history, and I didn't even notice it the first time I saw the movie.
And, like that ties into Django too, because obviously I didn't know a lot of the I'm not even going to try and say that word. I am too drunk to say that word.
Oh my God.
The intricacies. There we go. I did it.
There you go.
Good job.
Of what you're
Congrats.
talking about. Thank you. The intricacies of what you're talking about. I did it twice. God damn. That's impressive. But it's accurate enough, like we know enough to know, like these two movies picked a very delicate and important time to set their movies in, and you got to be careful doing that, man, especially now. Like, you got to get it right and you got to do it right, and they both did it, and they both made sure to have the important intricacies of these time periods in there. Bravo on them, dude.
Yeah. Michael B. Jordan admitted that he was never a horror movie fan, which motivated him to dive into the film. He said, "I wanted to do this partially trying to help take the edge off a little bit. I was like, maybe if I know more about how it's done and I'm in it, I might like horror movies a little bit more." He says he now likes them a lot more.
Good. I want to see him in another horror movie.
Yeah, so do I.
Wait a minute, hold on.
I
I agree
more
with
of A
Cass.
and B.
Yeah, I agree with Cass. Michael B. Jordan, and it's scary too, because you hear Michael B. Jordan and some like big actor and stuff like that, and you can roll your eyes easily and be like, "Oh God, it's doing that," and just getting a big name, because that happens. But dude, he was phenomenal for the role, and I don't think anyone could have played this role as well as he did.
No, and also Ryan Coogler, he has worked with Ryan Coogler on several films. They've worked together on Creed. They worked on Fruitvale. Fruitvale Station was Michael B. Jordan's first movie, and it was Ryan Coogler's film. They did Black Panther. I mean, they've worked on a ton of movies together.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't a situation where he just got a big name that he could get to be in the movie. I mean, he's worked with him a ton.
And Michael B. Jordan's super talented and can nail any role you put in front of him. I completely forgot where I was going with the point, but I got to praise Michael B. Jordan again, so that's a hell of a deal.
Nothing wrong with that. But and speaking of praising Michael B. Jordan, how about we praise this entire? Has there ever been a hotter cast this large assembled for a film?
Probably not.
Like everybody in this movie is hot, right? Like that's one thing we didn't talk about in reviewing this movie is how horny this film is.
Yeah,
right? Like it's just it's
vampires though. What do you expect?
Yeah, they're all fucking or they're talking about fucking.
Yeah, with vampires comes sex.
And they're all super hot. All right, director Ryan Coogler revealed the film was inspired by his late uncle James, who lived in Mississippi, where the film was set during the 1930s. His uncle died while he was making Creed, leaving him with several memories of his Mississippi upbringing that helped him craft the story, including his love for the type of blues music that features prominently in the film. Coogler said, "He was for a long time the oldest man in our family, and he lived in close proximity to me. My family went to Richmond, including my Uncle James, and his house was close enough that I could walk to it as a kid. I spent a lot of time with him, and he would listen to blues music. That was his thing. He didn't watch movies. He listened to blues vinyls and listened to the San Francisco Giants on the radio. He drank Old Taylor whiskey. That was his thing, and I associated that music with him, which was like it's old black man music."
Wow, what a quote.
Yeah, so again, just a very like personal film for Ryan Coogler, and I do think that's why it feels so personal and intimate, even though it is on this sort of grand scale.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Here is one of the other things. We'll get to it now. Here's one of the other things that became a big talking point. Ryan Coogler got a crazy good deal for the distribution rights to this film.
A hell of a deal?
People were writing about this deal saying it was going to end cinema and everything. And the shitty thing about that is, had Tarantino gotten the same deal, people would be praising him as a genius, right?
Yeah.
Like it's just so fucking annoying. Anyway, in exchange for the distribution rights to the film, Coogler was reportedly asking studios he got first dollar gross, final cut, and ownership of the film 25 years later after it's released. So basically, in 25 years, he gets the copyright and owns the film outright.
Dude, that's why. But you know what? I'm sure there were drawbacks to doing that, and people don't want to talk about those because, well, the right out of the bat drawback, I'm sure there were other stuff in the contract that were negatives in there as well that people don't mention. But dude, what if this movie doesn't do well?
Right.
You don't get shit. So you bet on yourself and you believed in what you were doing and the cast you put together and all those things. Bravo.
Right. And speaking of that, like Tarantino probably has this same deal, right? But
somewhere along the
nobody's
way,
giving him shit about it. It's just fucking. It's so annoying. Like, leave this man alone.
But yet, if it would have bombed in the box office, they would have been calling him a fucking idiot and whatever else along with it. Why would you do that? This is why you do that, because you take the chance and you believe in yourself. It doesn't always work, but he knew what he had.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Jack O'Connell claimed that it was when he got to the point in the script that Remick sings and jigs to Rocky Road to Dublin that he knew he wanted the role. He said the song was a childhood favorite of his, and he always wanted to jig in a movie.
Hell of a deal.
Yeah. So he got his jig. Is it jiggy with it?
Don't say that. That was so fucking white. Look, if we're gonna give Vivian Cass shit for being white, I gotta call you out on that one, dude. That was white as shit.
No, dude, I got street cred. That
was gross. That was absolutely gross. Don't do that again. I don't care if it's your birthday. Don't do that shit.
Sammy's guitar is said to have belonged to blues legend Charlie Patton, rather. Patton was often said to be of Irish, Choctaw, and African American descent, which are the three ethnic groups mentioned at the beginning of this film.
Okay.
This is the second R-rated horror film to be shot with IMAX films cameras since Nope in 2022. So the only other one.
Wow. Really?
Yeah.
Huh. It's crazy. Yeah. Wow.
And R-rated horror movies, they don't get the time or the money to shoot with IMAX. It's not cheap, and it is time consuming. And those cameras are enormous. It's ridiculous. You know, that's the kind of shit they let fucking Christopher Nolan do. As a matter of fact, we'll talk about that coming up, I think, if I put that in here. Maybe not. I don't see it. Christopher Nolan helped his cinematographer helped him figure out the best way to shoot this movie on IMAX. Anyway, the working title of the film was Grilled Cheese. Ryan Coogler explained that his previous films were comparable to cooking complicated dishes. Sinners is more of a simple dish that anyone can enjoy.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's fair enough.
Smoke is unable to roll his own cigarettes, which is why we see him smoking a pipe when he's not with his brother. And we see it at the end when he tries to roll a cigarette and it does not work.
Yeah. Thought that was a joint, though, for
No.
a second. I was proud, and I was like, it's a cigarette.
This is the second highest grossing original horror film domestically after The Sixth Sense in 1999. Overall, it is the highest grossing original film at the domestic box office since 2016's Sing.
Wow.
Yet Variety says it wasn't doing well at the box office.
That's crazy.
Yeah, fucking assholes. Smoke and Stack's car is a C.R. Patterson and Sons PG automobile. The car is notable as it was the first automobile built and manufactured by black people in the United States in 1915.
Wow.
No, I didn't know. I don't know cars, and especially like those old cars, they all kind of look the same to me, so I didn't know that at all. The film is nominated for 10 Fangoria Chainsaw Awards, including Best Wide Release, Best Director, Best Lead Performance, Best Supporting Performance, Best Screenplay, Best Cinematography, Best Score, and Best Costume Design.
That's wild.
Yeah. And finally...
And all valid.
Yeah, yeah. And finally, I just saw this one last week in an interview with Machine Gun Kelly. He says he turned down the role of Bert because he didn't want to say the N-word.
Okay, look. God damn it, I hate Machine Gun Kelly. Props to him for that. But thank God he's not. Do you know how much that would have annoyed me that he was in this fucking movie?
But like he said, the interview was about like him wanting to get more into acting and veer more in that direction with his career and take his acting more seriously.
Yeah, we know what happened to his rap career.
And if you like, if you're up for a role in this movie and you're like, I don't want to say the N-word, so I'm not going to take, like, you're a fucking actor playing a character. You know what I mean? Like,
there's something to be said. There's something to be said. But him coming from a rap background, and don't get me wrong, I'm not going to sit here and defend the man's music because I don't like it. But I mean, like, I can see it more so because you're coming from that culture, at least the music. But I also see what you were saying, Rob. If you're an actor and you're going to take a role seriously and the craft seriously, that's going to come up.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you're an actor playing a role. No one's going to be like, oh, look at that racist Machine Gun Kelly. You know what I mean? Like, we're all just going to be like, he's an actor playing a role. You know, I mean, look, and I get it. I get like, I don't want to say that word. You know, like, but if you're an actor and you got a job to do, you know, if you're serious about it, then do the fucking job. That's all I have for trivia. I feel like there was a bunch of stuff that I left out that I wanted to talk about, but that's all right. I don't remember what most of it was now. This movie, there's so much to get into in this movie that it's almost impossible for us to mention everything on the show.
Yeah. Okay. Hell of a deal. We got to score it then. Rob, you are traditionally ready with your score and all that stuff. Would you like to go first? Would you like to go last? It's your birthday.
I'll go first. We'll start off right and then see where you guys go from there.
Wow.
Sinners is tremendous. I mean, I mentioned a few complaints, but those are honestly little ticky-tack nitpicking complaints because that was all I could come up with for this movie. There are no major flaws in it. In my opinion, I have for years now said that Let the Right One In is the best vampire movie I've ever seen. Sinners has me rethinking that. This is a serious contender for that title.
Wow.
It's very hard for me to say which one I like more or which one's a better movie because they're very different films, like tonally and everything else. But Sinners is definitely giving it a run for its money. I love this movie. I gave it a 9.8.
Damn. Okay. 9.8. God damn. All right. Cass, would you like me to go? Would you like to go?
I can go.
Okay.
I agree again with all the things that Rob said.
Smart.
When I was trying to think of anything negative to do, when I was trying to think of anything negative about this film, it was really just trying to nitpick just really small details that honestly a regular viewer that is just casually watching this film to enjoy it would probably not pick up on it versus us who like to go through movies with a fine-tooth comb. But I really, really liked it and I gave it a 9.6.
9.6. God damn. All right. Well, Sinners was great. The tones of the movie, both visually, story-wise, the score even just rode right along with that, and it was damn near perfect. I love how they did the vampires. I love how stern they were with the rules of the vampires. I feel like it really helped balance a lot of stuff that was going on with this. I always have my roundabout score, and I land right about now because I want the discussion to fuel it. I want to make sure that I craft the score and it's right, because we don't go back. I mean, I guess we have gone back and fixed some, but Sinners for me is getting a 9.6. As much as I hate to copy Cass's fucking score, I wanted to give it a 9.7. I was sitting at a 9.5, but I wanted to go up, and I can't go higher than a 9.6. That's a good score, Cass. I'm going to sit right there with you.
Look at you copy Cass.
I didn't mean it. Copy Cass. That's pretty funny.
Good one.
All right. So this movie, unlike The Hills Have Eyes, Robert, your fault, is Slasher Radio approved. 9.7.
All right.
Hell of a deal.
Slasher Radio approved. Great movie.
Also, worth mentioning, Sinners has the same score as another movie that we recently discussed on the show, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Oh, wow. All right.
TCM.
Yeah. TCM. This movie is the same as TCM.
Yep.
What the score says. All right.
I feel all right with that. And this is one of the best movies I've seen in a long time.
It's really good. It's really good. Okay, hell of a deal. Everybody, let us know either on Patreon, in the mailbag, whether text message, voicemail, YouTube comment, even for anybody still here from YouTube. Let us know what you think about this movie. Your messages can get played on the show. Patreon.com/Slasher Radio. Tier starting as low as $3 a month. There is a 1-week free trial. Take advantage of that, as we have 2 Patreon picks coming up still for this month. And at Slasher Radio on everything. YouTube, TikTok style. I'm not saying fuck TikTok again yet. Not yet. Twitter, whatever else. Just look at Slasher Radio. If you see it, follow it, and all that stuff. I'm at Mikey's Dead on Twitter if you'd like to follow me. If not, leave me alone. Rob, what about you?
You can find me around at Radio Rob123. You can listen to the other show that I do, the Nick fucking Woo Cagecast. That's Nick effing Woo Cagecast in your podcast players. You can find that wherever you're listening to Slasher Radio.
Canada.
I am Makeup Ex-Mistress on all platforms.
You did it right for Rob's birthday. I'm proud of you.
I try.
I was very concerned about that.
Oh my god.
Fuck. All right, guys. Catch you next week with a Patreon episode. We do not know what movie we're talking about. So if you want to find out first and get involved with picking that movie for us, we have no choice but to discuss it. Good night from Slasher Radio. Hell of a deal.
All right.
Good job, guys.
Birthday boy.
All the best of Slasher Radio podcast.